Welcome to Whispering Pines, an eerie coastal village where the mist never seems to lift and the townspeople speak in whispers, if they speak at all. It's a place caught between worlds, where secrets are held tight in the shadow of the pine trees and the air is thick with something ancient. Today we follow a young woman returning to her childhood home in Whispering Pines. She's come to pay her respects, to say a final goodbye to her estranged mother, a woman who warned her to never, under any circumstances, return. But here she is, drawn back by both grief and an insatiable need for closure. As she steps onto the fog-covered village paths, she finds herself in a world both familiar and alien. The village is as she remembers, but wrong somehow. The residents drift past her like phantoms, their eyes glazed, faces expressionless, and yet they all seem to move in unison. Their mouths mumble the same strange, half-formed phrases, almost like a chant. She soon learns that they're preparing for something. It isn't long before she hears the words, "the rite of the veil." An old village ritual passed down through generations, held only for women born into certain bloodlines. The rite of the veil. She doesn't know it yet, but her mother was part of this ritual, and so was her grandmother before her. And now, she too has been chosen. The ritual, they tell her, will take place in the heart of the forest, deep within the pines. It's here, under the watchful eye of the village elder, that the secrets of Whispering Pines are passed on. With no other choice, she agrees to go. At midnight, they lead her to a clearing. The trees around her seem taller here, as if they're closing in, their branches reaching like skeletal arms. A thick, almost suffocating fog surrounds her as she steps forward, heart pounding. They give her a robe, a heavy dark veil made of twisted fibers, woven with symbols she can't understand. The cloth is cold and damp against her skin, smelling faintly of pine and decay. They tell her it's part of the ritual, part of her birthright. Then they hand her a cup, filled with a dark, bitter liquid made from the sap of the oldest pines in the forest. They call it the elixir of the ancients. It's thick, cold, and leaves a metallic taste on her tongue. The moment she swallows, her vision blurs. And then, the visions begin. She sees her mother as a young woman, trembling as she too undergoes the rite. She watches her drink the same bitter elixir, don the same veil, and her mother warns her. In the vision, her mother reaches out, whispering, "Do not accept the veil. It will take everything from you. It will take your soul." But before she can react, the chanting around her grows louder, overpowering her mother's voice. She struggles, feeling the weight of the ritual pressing down, her mind caught in a cycle of visions that grow darker with each heartbeat. She sees women, generation after generation, all trapped in the same ritual, their lives consumed by the veil. They become hollow, like the villagers, barely more than mannequins drifting through the fog. But she refuses to accept this fate. In her final moment of clarity, she remembers the vial of sleeping herbs she slipped into her coat, a desperate plan forming. She feigns obedience, drinks the last of the elixir, and as the chanting reaches its climax, she slips the herbs into the communal offering, the drink that will be shared with the village at the ritual's end. One by one, the villagers fall silent, lulled into a deep, dreamless sleep, and she runs. She races through the darkened forest, her heart pounding as she makes her way back to the shore. The fog is lifting, if only for a moment, and she catches sight of a fishing boat waiting offshore, her last chance for escape. As the boat pulls away, she looks back one last time, vowing to never return. The fog begins to close around the village once more, swallowing Whispering Pines whole, but not before she catches a glimpse of the villagers, all standing at the edge of the shore, watching her, silent, motionless. She knows that the village will go on, waiting for the next in line to take up the veil. But for now, she's free. Whispering Pines keeps its secrets well, but sometimes, if you listen closely, you might hear the echoes of those who didn't make it out. The voices, whispering through the pines.